Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So at first, I wasn't gonna do a segment over this because it's just very disturbing to me. I did want to do a video concerning the Lauren Smith Fields situation, but it was just so disturbing to me what happened and the lack of, investigation and just the stuff that happens in these situations with, the police and them not wanting to investigate and actually, do what they're supposed to do. But I decided to go ahead and make a video over this subject, the situation. It's really something else when you think about it, and so many people have been talking about it, and it's so disturbing. Like I said before, this is all so very disturbing, and the response from particularly the Black community, it's quite disturbing as well. Everything is just it's a bit sickening, to be honest, but you know this is the kind of world we're living in, this day and age. But anyways, so this young man, he was in a relationship with a OnlyFans model. Her name was Courtney Taylor, and she basically murdered him. Now, a lot of people were saying that it was in self-defense, allegedly, and that there were some problems in their relationship. I think some of her friends had just recently come out on some talk show and was saying that they basically had technically broken up not too long before this happened, and that he was, allegedly, I say this allegedly, stealing money from her, and that they were in a domestic violence type relationship. Now, the only people who know all of the truth are the two of them and God. That's the only three people that know all of the truth. Now, as a person who's outside of the situation, knows nothing about these people, of course, I can't just say, oh, well, I bet this happened. Like, a lot of people are saying, they're siding with one or the other. Some of them are saying, oh, no, she just stabbed him because, maybe something happened, that like she's lying, that something happened. A lot of people are siding with her and saying, well, he seems like the kind of guy that would, do something like that, be beating on her, and that maybe she just finally snapped or just was trying to defend herself and didn't know what she was doing because, according to the news, she pled insanity and she was out on bail, I think, within less than a day or something like that, or within like the same day as what happened. And his family, they were appalled. And I understand that, that's a completely normal reaction, even if it was, insanity, that's, still a good reason to be pissed off, that some woman who was dating, your son, your brother, whoever, is just out on bail, like, no real consequences, Now, there was an interview that she was a part of, apparently a couple of weeks before this took place, where she did admit that she only dated black guys. And then she said, well, I only date rich black guys. Now, the way the story, where it starts to get, like I said, disturbing for me is, this is where it starts to get disturbing for me. Now, I know that people are probably sick and tired of hearing this, but the only people who have the luxury of being sick and tired of hearing this is the people who it does not apply to and who's not affected by it. I'm not trying to make this about somebody that it's not about, and I'm not trying to start a gender war. I'm not trying to start like a race war or anything like that. The truth is that if this was anybody who was dark-skinned or black, she would have been getting called all kinds of hoes and bees and sluts and worthless because, she said that she was, an OnlyFans, which I don't condone things like that. But I also don't judge people. I don't like to judge people. You know what I'm saying? But if this had been a black woman, they would have been calling her all kinds of names, like every single name except for her government name and a child of God. And this is something that we all know, but very few people want to admit. And they were all, laughing it up and chucking it up and, happy because she was saying that she was only, she only wanted to date, rich black guys. Like I said, if anybody else had said that, would have been called all kinds of names. Like, it's okay for this young woman to say that she only wants to date a certain kind of rich guy. But if anybody else says that, they're gold digger, they're this, they're that. So this already had disturbed me at this point right here. The second thing that disturbed me was the mixture of responses from the Black community. Like half of them are like, oh, we should, we should say something like in support of his family, him and his family, and, speak out about what's happening because it's messed up, And then there were others that were saying, most Black women, they were saying that they did not want to show support at all because they went through this young man's Twitter history and he has said some rather disturbing things about Black women. And people have said this all the time. You feel the way you want to feel about whoever you want to feel. That's your opinion. That's your right. But to get on social media and say such horrendous things is not acceptable. It's not okay. And we can't just cover that up or not talk about it, because what happened. And so a lot of Black women, whenever they saw those comments that I'm not going to repost on, this video, not only were they upset, but they withdrew their help. Now, as for myself, I'm not going to say that this young man, like what I've seen on, the internet, I'm not going to say that this young man deserved to be stabbed to death because of his, hatred for Black women, his, self-hatred, his colorism. I'm not going to say that he deserved to be stabbed to death for that. That's where I am, because there's a lot of people who I've noticed that said that they don't feel anything for him and that they felt like he deserved it. And I don't think that it's right to say that, because nobody, despite what they've done or said, deserves something like that, And it's disturbing to me again. I know I keep saying that over and over, but it's disturbing to me because in all these situations, like I've said before, I'm a Christian, and I always think to myself, did these people, did it at any point before, they passed on, did they get themselves, in right standing? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't think about that and they don't care about that, but it doesn't make it any less important. And that's what disturbs me the most. Like somebody's life was taken from them, before, it was their time, before they could and it just, like I said, it disturbed me. And it disturbed me that there are some people that would say in both this and the situations like these that people deserve this because of what they said. And I just think I think it's sick-minded. I don't think it's right at all. But that's, how people, like I said, it's unfortunately the kind of world we live in. Now, of course, like I said, despite what happened, we can't just cover up the truth. And his family, especially his brother, has been asking the Black community to help. And like I said, it's understandable. It's a normal reaction. It's the same thing that anybody would have done for their brother. He's doing what he can and what he should as a brother. Although, again, a lot of people fell off with him because he never really, he addressed the comments. There was, a post that he made saying, it's not right that people are making morbid and disrespectful comments about him because of, some posts he made when he was in high school. And, people were going back, like I said, in his Twitter feed from like 2012 to 2015 and whatnot. And people were saying, high school or not, and it wasn't just when he was in high school, it was when he got older too, he still knew what he was doing. And so I feel like a lot of people, especially women, who were going to support him or, maybe, thinking about giving him support, with like the whole GoFundMe, he kind of killed that support by glossing over what he said, what he tweeted. Because at the moment they saw him say, oh, these were just comments made, back in the day or whatever, I feel like it would have smoothed it over better if he would have went ahead and said something more along the lines of, my brother was wrong for what he said, young or not, high school or not. He was, he's an adult and he made comments that he should have never made. He was wrong for what he said. And I'm sorry, he can't make up for that. All I can do is apologize on his behalf. But we need y'all's help right now. But the way he did it kind of made it seem like that didn't matter to him, but he still wanted everybody's help. And like I said, that right there, I think killed most of the support that he could have had. And I know it might seem, like I said, morbid or very lacking in compassion, but this is a situation that they're dealing with right now. And, he was saying he needed a black community to help him. And then that's another thing. These people are African, and he's asking the black community to help him. First of all, why isn't he asking the African community to help him? And second of all, a lot of black people are aware now that a lot of Africans don't like black Americans. So there were people who fell off at that point. And like I said, it seems very lacking in compassion, but this is unfortunately the situation that it is. And he was saying like he needed help. He had made a GoFundMe to help bury his brother. And again, even more people fell off because they were saying, okay, well, she said out of her own mouth that she only messes with rich black guys, which would make us assume that he had money. So if he had money, why do you need a GoFundMe to bury him? Why didn't he have life insurance? And see, that's another thing that apparently all melanated people have had problems with since the dawn of time. Houses and cars that we want to buy, that we can't afford just because we want to keep up with somebody else. Luxury name brands that we don't need, because if anything happens to you, those name brands, where they gonna be at? But when it comes to our health, we don't have health insurance, even though some of us have the money to do it. Like, I can understand if you don't have the money, but some of these people have the money and they refuse to make provisions. Like, I get it, nobody wants to think about that, but that's something that you have to have on your mind. Like, I know too many situations, even in my own family, where nobody made sure the person had insurance. And then when they kicked the bucket, they had to pay out of pocket and borrow money from other people and never paid it back. So that madness has got to stop. It's got to stop. So like I said, a lot of people fell off with him because they were like, well, if he was a rich black guy, then why are you asking us for money? Like, where is his money? Why didn't he have health insurance? And like I said, I've been seeing a lot on the internet. Like I said, women, mostly black women, saying, we're not doing nothing. And like I said, I don't completely agree with that, but I'm just one person. They said that they don't want to do anything because, they feel like he's not the only one who felt that way. And that you're not going to get help from somebody who you have berated and degraded all of your life. Like I said, I don't exactly agree with that, but you reap the consequences of what you sow. And the situation is still very, very unfortunate. And despite everything that has happened, I hope that his soul is at rest with God. And I hate these situations so much. I hate it when stuff like this happens. And like I said, there's only 3 people who know the truth. The 2 of them and God. And I really do hope that, well, I won't say that, but I just hope that it's not something that it's not supposed to be, if you get my drift. Like, I hope everything that they said was actually truthful, but we might not ever know. So, but anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, I was heavily disturbed by this whole ordeal. I still am. Like, when I just think about it, it's just disturbing. Like I said, God help us all. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments.